Smartwatches are an awesome piece of technology, and Apple built most or the best one actually right now, if you ask me, because the software is just amazing. Of course, they take a lot of money from you for this, for having one of the best sensors here on the bottom when it comes to the sensing your pulse and all kinds of other information. Then here the crown on the side. No other company did that before. Here to go through the menus, which feels really amazing, and then you have your on and off switch right here also on the side, which is really quite good. Also, a speaker is built in, which is not usual with all the Android phones. For example, the G Watch you can see in the background, and also here the microphone. That's pretty standard for just using Siri, that we can also demonstrate to you in a second. And when we turn it back on, you can see here Mickey Mouse showing us what time it is. It's in the morning right now on a Thursday, and we have 98% battery life, and 27 degrees Celsius is somewhere in the world. If you go down, we can check out a few different things, like for example maps and other apps that have not been used yet. And as you can see, they have to load a little bit. We have in Munich 27 degrees and thunderstorms coming up. And then, for example, also here the battery, heart rate, and everything else that you can see here. For example, I could start playing music on my phone. But what you can do also is you have 2 gigs of internal memory inside here that you can use to save your music. And then you can also take a Bluetooth headset like the Sennheiser Urbanite XL, for example, and then play your Bluetooth music from here to there without having to need to take the phone, for example, with you for a run. So that's quite nice. Here at the Apple Watch, this is actually the cheapest edition. This is the Sport, which means we have aluminum, not stainless steel here, or the gold, rose gold here on the outside. So this is the cheapest, but also the lightest one for $399. The entry price is, you could say, for Apple alright, but I think the price could go way down, or should go way down, because the battery life is just not satisfactory, as you will see when I will show you guys the battery life. So we have 98% we had before, now we have 97%, and we can actually show you guys also how to change the brightness. For example, you just have to go down here to the settings, and then you can go to brightness and text size, and I can scale it down, for example, to 2 lines, and then you can see it also a little bit better here, everything on this 4K video. Now, I could also change the text size here to a little bit larger, depending on how bad or good my eyes are. So there's 5 or 6 actually adjustments. Let's just leave it at the standard. You can go back here to text size, and you can of course also again use here your crown to go up and down, and you have always the time here up on top, because you have a watch on, and with the watch the most important thing is the time. Now, what I did before is I just cover the screen. So if you cover the screen, you go always back to the basic time telling, which is quite nice. And if you press the button actually here again, then you can browse here through your apps, which is going quite smoothly here. And you can see I have quite a few, like for example Tinder, I have PowerPoint, also some kind of player, and I could also check here, for example, my passbook, where I would see that, for example, in a few hours I would fly to Berlin with Air Berlin, or just check out my flight last for a few weeks ago when I went to JFK. And here on the bottom there's also the QR code, which it has to download actually from the smartphone before it can work. But as you can see, it's not inside here right now, so that's why this doesn't work right now. So we can also close it up, and yeah, you can see that my whole list of Airbnb and everything that's on here. So as you would see from the smartphone, a quite nice little app, which you can of course exit by pressing the button here again. And then I could open Instagram, for example, and there's over 3,000 apps already that support the Apple Watch with just standard interfaces. Like for example here with Instagram, I could still check my activity. So for example, somebody liked my pictures, or I can just browse through the feed and look at the pictures, like them, and do whatever I usually do on Instagram also. But you cannot double tap it. Actually, that doesn't help for liking. You can just go and check out the details. Hump day, huh? Didn't know that. So let's go out again, and yeah, just let's go back to the watch, where we can actually also show you guys that when we use this crown here, we can move it around and also zoom in somewhere, like for example to Tinder, and then we can see this nice little animation for opening up an app. But what we can also do is if we press it again, and you're able to see if I press it now again, we can go back to the watch, or I just zoom in, and then you can see this animation where Mickey Mouse is always bigger and the crown or just the watch face appears around the side. Now what if I don't want Mickey moving here around? I want one of the 10 pre-installed watch faces here by Apple. I just hard press the screen, and then I'm in the watch face customizer, where I can just select anything I want. For example, the motion, where I would just have a butterfly or always different butterflies in the background. Modular, where I have a little bit more information about what's coming up, but also the time. And you have also always or almost always the possibility to change the different settings in the corners. So I could, for example, say I want the astronomy, one of my favorites. I've seen that in my hands-on video. Select that, and then I can also say if I want to customize it. Actually, it's not possible with the astronomy, which is a little bit sad. So I could just say I want to customize here my color one. I could say I want orange color, red color, or yellow color, and then I can also switch it to the next side, where I can say I want here on this side not the date, but I want maybe the moon phase, sunrise, sunset, weather, activity, alarm, timer, stopwatch, battery, word clock, and world clocks. The world clocks are from my smartphone, so that's why we have here, for example, New York City, Taipei, Berlin, Vegas, and stuff like that. So let's stay with the battery. Alarm is alright, and the weather is also alright. And then here we can say if you want a monogram or if you don't want a monogram. Once I'm finished, just press the button, and then you can go back in here, and then you can see now everything is orange. I have the world clock and everything I just set up before. But if you completely want to have here, for example, from the color, different color ones, and not only the different type of watch faces here, then you can go all the way to the right and say new, come on. Here, and then we can go through the ones we have just seen on the left and say I want to customize one, and then I can have multiple ones from the same type. So for example, as you can see, I have one color which is green, which has different settings, and you will just able to see the color I just adjusted here by myself. Actually, my favorite is large. What I don't like about the large is that we don't have anything that's showing us the date, and we can't really customize it, but it just looks fine. So let's go back here to the apps, where I could show you guys, for example, one cool app, which is this one. If I select this camera icon, the smartphone which I'm connected to, you can see is starting the camera. And then I can see the live picture here, and I could shoot a picture or even a video. How to shoot a video? It's pretty simple. You go here to the settings somewhere, or just hit the 3, and then in 3 seconds it will take a picture, or actually a series of 10 pictures. And we can also check them out right here. Or if we go here to the video mode, video not supported, switch to photo. That's a little bit sad, I can't take any videos. Anyhow, again, one app, and if the smartphone is already open, let me show you guys what you can do in your smartphone here with the Apple Watch app. There's quite a few things to do, for not only settings but also other things, and let me actually change here the focus so you can see a little bit better. So we have, for example, the app layout. You can't change the app layout on the watch itself. Let me actually put it here onto the side so you guys can see what's happening. So you have here the app layout, where you could say, for example, I want this app up here, this app out there. But what you can do is actually change the place of the watch. The watch will be always in the middle and it stays right there. What you can do though is you can delete apps by not changing them in here, but if you go out you will see that there's a menu where we see all the installed apps. You can explore, check out videos, you can download of course new apps over Wi-Fi or 3G, and you can of course search. So let's go back to my watch and let me actually show you where the apps are that are installed. They're right here on the bottom. So for example, I have 6 right now. These will be standard available here when you have an app that's supporting the watch, then it will be here in the list. And if I want to disable Tinder, I can just say uninstall right here, go back to my watch, and then you see it's still here in the list, but it won't be anymore here in the Apple Watch list. So it was here in the bottom corner, and it's not there anymore. So this is one of the features. Of course, with some apps you have the option or extra options, like for example show in glances. Glance would be the part here on the bottom, which you'll be able to see when we just go back here to the watch. So when I swipe up, down here on the bottom, these are the glances, and you can just say you want Instagram also there, which would be, of course, quite handy. A little bit more handy are a lot of other different things, like for example, if you go into Apple Watch, you can, of course, pair, unpair, or pair multiple watches. You can go into notifications, and what, again, quite good is that you can set up from all the different apps that you would get notified from, like for example, Hangouts and so on, that you want notifications, but from Fitbit, for example, I don't want any, McDonald's, I don't want them to remind me on my watch, and so on and so on. So you can you have your full control right there, and what you can also do is control not only, for example, your emails, but also which account can tell you show you emails on the watch and which cannot. That of course doesn't work, like for example with not native mail apps like Gmail. You can just say notifications yes or no. But yeah, you have always different options here in most apps, like turn on alerts, mirror my phone, and so on and so on. And under activity here, you have a few extra settings that you can set up here with the Apple Watch. Let's go out here again with glances. Again, here you can set up which way you want it. Weather should be maybe a little bit at the end. World clock I need more often. Stocks I don't need at all. And then when I turn on the watch, it will be exactly in the order I just set it up right now. The way it's working this fast is actually they're connected via Bluetooth for the basic settings, but they're synchronized via Wi-Fi, which is of course a lot faster and more efficient. And but otherwise you can't really connect the watch over Wi-Fi directly to your home Wi-Fi. It will probably need more power for that. So do not disturb, not that interesting. You can just say you want it at the same time as on the iPhone. Then under general, of course, a lot of information that you usually set up when you set up your watch for the first time. But what you can also see is, for example, which app needs how much memory here, and then you know from the actually 4 gigs that should be inside that which needs how much. And now we just come to the most interesting part for me, if you ask me. That's music. Because you can go, for example, here and say you want to synchronize up to 2 gigs of your music, or you can also say you don't want to know it by gigs or gigabytes. You want to know how many songs fit on here, up to 250 songs on a watch. There's only 4 gigs always available, from which maximum 2 can be used. And we can also say we can sync the whole playlist, but we can also say we should sync only the recently added music, and then it's 0 songs synced to the Apple Watch, and 5.8 gigs are remaining, which is quite interesting that it's so much. It should be only maximum of 2 gigs that is remaining. So we can go back, and otherwise all the other features, like for example the most apps that are installed are just standard and have just also here on the bottom a few settings, but some are important, like for example my watch. I will show in a second what that is. And then we are already all done here with the Apple Watch, except for you can of course set also the privacy passcode. You can do that on your watch also, so you can let the smartphone disable this passcode on your smartwatch if it's close to it, which is quite handy here with Unlock iPhone. And you can also just use a 4-digit something, fingerprints or anything like that are not available yet, but that can be also again handy for the NFC, with which one you can pay actually here with the watch, so nobody can pay unless they don't know the 4 codes that are inside. Sound and haptics, again quite important, that it's not too loud for you guys, or you have 3 different options for the vibration here, which you can feel right away when you would have it on, but it's really quite nice feeling here on the watch, if you ask me. And then we are already all done. This is everything that you can actually also do on your watch. And what I will do actually is put it on my wrist and show you guys, for example, how it works with Siri and how it works with taking my measurements when it comes to I'm sorry, right now I'm trying to put it on, when it comes to taking your heart rate. This is how you put it on, at least with the cheaper bands. I will leave it on the inside right now because it doesn't work that great for me with all my hair on the outside, but here I don't have any. So what you have to do is, for example, to take your pulse is check out here the fitness app somewhere, or the health app. There should be a health app. I guess it's with fitness. With workout, for example, I did a workout the hour for a few minutes, and then I can check it out that my pulse was almost 200. I can say I want a goal for time or for how many calories I want to reach, or I just want an open goal. If you want more information, actually, here what you have to do is go out in the activity app, and then you can see here I did a few days something. But if I want to have more information, like for example here, you can see I exercised for 56 minutes, but more information is only available if you go into detailed mode somewhere. Achievements, for example, this is first rowing workout. And it just tells you all kinds of different things about your day and what you're doing or what you're not doing. And it's a little bit more detailed than you would see on the watch. So again, let's try to take my heart rate right here. 1 minute ago it was 63 beats per minute. Right now it should be a little bit more. I guess not. I haven't shown you guys again also 59, so I'm quite still and patient right now. I can go exit again, and then I can go back to the apps. Or actually what's more important is what the button here does. If you triple press it, you can use it with Apple Pay, quite important. It doesn't work in Europe, so I can't show it to you guys right now. Nothing happens except for if you double press it or just single press it. Actually, you can select here from different people here in the list that you want to interact with them. Like for example, Aladar, I could send him, or Julian, I could send him a text message. I have to select which number though. I could call him. Again, I have to select which number. So let's just do the message thing. And then you can see there's preset messages. Also smileys. Now the smileys I love. So you can change the mood of the smiley by moving here the crown. Or of course moving here your finger also should work, I guess. Or it doesn't. Anyhow, so from sad to happy to all kinds of different happy, you can send here really cool emojis even though the other person doesn't have the Apple Watch. Like for example this one also. Or the fist bump is also cool because it can go from thumbs up, thumbs down to fist bump to all kinds of other things that can be awesome. And your standard emojis are of course also right here. Again, if I go back to text message, what you can also do though is just send something that the weather in Munich is quite good right now. As you can see, it didn't hear me right, I guess, so that's why Siri is not picking up anything. Let's try it again. And for some reason it thinks I want to say do things in German, probably because it knows that we are in Germany, which is, yeah, my phone is in German, so that's why, I guess. Or it is not. No, it's in English, so it's quite strange that it thinks that we want to do something in Germany, but probably because the language and region is set to, yeah, the region is Germany. So let's just set that to the US or Great Britain, which doesn't work, of course, obviously. So let's just do the United States right there, back, and then let's try it again with not this part, but we can of course also try Siri, which would work if you just long press here the top. But it asked me again in Germany, so that's also again quite stupid. Interestingly, yeah, maps is also one thing I didn't show you guys yet, but it would be really interesting because all you have to do is select where you want to go, like for example, I don't know, right there, or that's actually a contact, because we were looking for somebody via Siri. We can say, okay, we want to know where we are right now, and then what we can also do, there's no GPS inside here, it will use the location from the phone, and yeah, it knows it quite well, but we can say that we want to go somewhere to eat, that's close. We can zoom in and out here by using the crown, of course. And here's a park, so we could try, for example, the just getting directions to the park, or getting more information and then getting directions. Like for example, it's 24 minutes walking, 4 minutes by car. Let's drive by car, and then it checks how it's easiest to get there. And after it's finished loading here on top, we can hit the start button, and then it will tell us how to get there. Proceed to Kreilerstraße. Here we go. And then turn left, turn right, and if you turn on your smartwatch or a smartphone, then you will see it's also right here in the navigation. And it's talking to us, and I don't want it to talk to us. And the only way I figured out how to exit is actually, if you do this and you open it up again, you will be at the same location, which is strange because usually it should go back to the watch interface, but there is no really option to close it up here. What you want to do right now, the only way is to press the button again, and if you press it again and again and you get home, you have to go down here to the right, or wherever maps is, open it up right here, and then it will forget on the other page that you were looking for something, and you can start tracking again something new that you want to look for. So that's really a few things that I actually didn't forget. Anyhow, so yeah, there's just some bugs still yet in the software where I just want to delete a cancel or something button that Apple just didn't think of, that people might want to do it. But there's a lot to learn about the watch, and there's a lot to do with the watch, and it's really not that easy if you just playing around with it all the time. And one last thing, of course, I have to show you guys now, it is where the battery life is, which I cannot right now here with this one. So I just go back here to the Mickey Mouse, and then you can see we are at 89% right now, so almost 10% went away in about 20 minutes of video. So I hope you liked my review. I love the watch, but again, if the battery would be at least double the watt we have right now, then it would be really awesome, and I wouldn't have to rely on, for example, a $150 LG smartwatch that of course only with Android works. These work only with iOS. Again, also a little bit sad that it doesn't work with any operating system, but of course it's Apple, they don't do that usually, because of course this way they can guarantee the best experience, which is, I think, bullshit. But anyhow, so here for $400 you get a really awesome smartwatch with a kind of short battery life of around 1 day, and just some features that you usually wouldn't use most of the time. But again, the watch faces and the pulse are just a go-getter if you are really a person who wants to use it a lot for fitness, for example. This is one of the best devices that is out there. Thank you much for watching. My name is Balazs, and this was the Apple Watch Sport Edition, or actually all other editions, because the software and the hardware inside is always the same. It's just the casing that's different for the different prices. So again, thank you very much. Till next time, don't forget to subscribe, and my name is Balazs.